The world is going to hell, literally. A war started about 4 months ago, and it started fast. In the 4 short months, most of humanity was killed, and the rest, well, I could hardly call them human. It's just my brother, Nakan, and me now. It's scary. Jacob is with us. We count on him, perhaps too much, to survive, but he makes things easier. His sister, Alexia, has survived too, for now. It seems inevitable. We're all going to die sooner or later. Depending on how I feel, my opinions differ on which I would prefer. I remember where I was when it started. It's all still clear in my mind. Okay class, when you're finished with the questions on the board, hand in your papers and then you may leave. My teacher, Mrs. Leone, told us. Not that her name really matters now. She's dead too. When I had finally finished the questions, almost last, lucky those who got away in time, I got up to hand in my work when maybe only 10 feet away, a man burst through the door with some kind of large gun. He shot Mrs. Leone straight in the chest. I froze dead where I stood. Everything was moving in slow motion. The other students were diving under their desk. Mrs. Leone, clutching her chest, was falling to the floor, and the man holding the gun was turning in on the class. His eyes were alight with adrenaline and fury. His hair was hanging messily in his face, and his gun was pointing straight at me. Then suddenly I was on the ground with Jacob on top of me. It took me a minute to process that he had pushed me to the floor just inside the class's supply room. He was immediately back on his feet, slamming the door shut and blocking it. All I could do was stare as he pulled and pushed shelves to barricade the entrance. Finally, a thought processed in my mind, but it really didn't help my panicked state. The thought was, Nakan. Jacob had finally finished and was fussing over me, speaking but making no sound. I opened my mouth and told him, Nakan. But again, I didn't hear a thing. My fingers touched my ear and came away wet. Blood? Automatically, I panicked even more. I was deaf. The gunshot had burst my ears. Jacob looked over them and wiped with the sleeve of his jacket. Nakan, I mutely pleaded again. He shook his head and pulled his jacket away, putting his finger to his lips. I could faintly hear walking in the classroom. Turns out I wasn't deaf. I just couldn't hear because of the blood. There's no other way out, he whispered. Or maybe he didn't and I just couldn't hear properly. So I looked around the room, and sure enough, we're in a one entrance, one exit. Not even a window. I need to get to Nakan. What if something bad has happened? I wouldn't finish that sentence. We will find him, he promised. And then he pulled me on his lap and wrapped his arms tightly around me. It took 5 minutes before everything went silent other than the sound of our distressed breathing. It was another 10 minutes before we dared to leave. And then I was sprinting down the halls, desperate to get to his classroom. He had to be safe. He had to be! We stopped outside Alexia's classroom on the way to find her huddled with 5 other children, crying. Her teacher was on the phone talking in a hushed voice to who I could only imagine would be the police. Alexia was happy to see her brother, and he was relieved to see her. She was safe. Nakan had to be too. We got to his classroom. It was empty. Well, of live people anyway. I let out a strangled sob as I stared at the bloody bodies of the 8 and 9-year-olds around me. Jacob pulled me tight against his chest, and I cried hard. My little brother is dead. It was a long time before I settled down, and that was only because the tears wouldn't come anymore. The pain was still hard-hitting in my chest. How does one continue after the death of someone they loved and cared for so much? What was I supposed to say to Mum and Dad? Yeah, they'd be happy that I survived, but they've still lost him. Then we heard whimpering. Whimpering! My head immediately shot up towards the teacher's desk. He walked slowly, wearily, and peeked under. And there he was, crying with his teacher's hand pressed firmly over his mouth to mute it. Silent tears were flooded down their cheeks. As soon as he saw me, he broke away from his teacher and dived straight into my arms. I cradled his tiny form to my chest and we cried together. He was safe. And that was all that mattered. The rest of the problems could wait. Obviously that day, we thought it was just a school shooting. It only took a few more minutes for us to realise otherwise when we went outside and the streets were full of bodies and blood. That morning, I woke up with a teddy in my arms. Today, I wake up with a gun. And tomorrow, well, who knows if I will even wake. Hey guys, and welcome back to Veda Day 12. I really hope you guys enjoyed that little snippet of what I've just read to you, because I'm releasing my book tomorrow, 13th of August at 4 PM on Wattpad. There will be a link in the description. There is also a Goodreads page, so please go ahead and mark it as to read. I really hope you guys enjoy this book. I've been working on it for quite a long time now, and I really can't wait to see what you guys think. I'll be uploading a video tomorrow that will explain more about the book, and then it will be posted as soon as I release it. I am really nervous but really excited to see what you guys think. Really have been stressing over you guys not liking it, or just people not liking it in general. But I've worked so hard on it, and whilst I've been editing it recently, I've realised that it's actually not that bad. It's quite good, at least I think so. Maybe that makes me big-headed. I don't care. I'm really proud of it, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So with that being said, I hope this little snippet that I just read to you intrigued you. If it did, please let me know down below, because that's the whole point. That's what it's supposed to do. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much to infinity and beyond. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. My name's Waverly, and now I'm off to read. Bye!